Hello everybody and welcome to Feel Better Eating. This is a whole food plant-based experience that has the intention of educating you about the health benefits of a plant-based diet, inspiring you to try new recipes and new foods, and helping you feel better eating after you taste it. My name is Joshua, this is Catherine, my wonderful wife and co-host, and today we've got a real banger of a recipe. Very excited to share it with our live audience here in Michigan City, Indiana. And one of the key themes of this show is to show you how healthy food doesn't have to be boring, and it absolutely definitely doesn't not have to include desserts, cakes and sweet treats. And most of us, when we get introduced to sweet treats growing up, they are typically ultra processed foods that are really not that good for us. Our bodies really struggle to digest them, and that's why they lead to health issues. They lead to us feeling kind of sluggish, and I don't really know why it's classed as a treat. When you frame it that way, when it makes me feel that way, it's just not that good. So what we're going to show you today is another recipe, and we have a list of these on this channel to show you how a sweet treat can not only be tasty, but also healthy and make you feel better eating it. So Catherine, welcome to the show. How are you doing? I'm
great, thank you. And the sweet treats may actually be my favorite part of the show. We alternate between savory and sweet, and the sweets, I'm drawn to them because I used to love baking and I loved making sweet treats with my friends and my mom. And so today we are making a raw carrot cake with a vanilla orange frosting. I had the inspiration and inkling to make a carrot cake, and I knew that there was a raw recipe out there. And with a quick search, I found one from Fully Raw Christina, and she's made this recipe for over 10 years. Like, it's a very tried and true recipe. She's made a couple renditions of it, and you can find many renditions of it on the internet. This one specifically spoke to me because it's going to be in cupcake form, and I was interested to see how the vanilla orange frosting would taste with it. So yes, today we're making the raw cupcakes with vanilla orange frosting. Have you ever had anything like this before?
No.
No.
I do like a carrot cake though.
Oh. Does anyone else like carrot cake, traditional carrot cake?
Oh, we've got
there we go.
We've got people, we love that. And today's recipe is mainly healthy because it's going to have living enzymes in it, which is something we've spoke about many times. It's raw, which means we're obviously not going to be cooking it. So all of the enzymes in the vegetables that we're going to put in it, specifically the carrots, but also dates, are going to be alive and not denatured, which is why it will help us digest it more readily and won't leave us feeling like, oh, I just ate 3 slices of cake and now I hate myself. So let's get into it, shall we?
Yes.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Let's start off with the
carrot base.
The carrot base.
So for this recipe, it was suggested to us to use carrot pulp. So we ran our carrots through our juicer already, and it was suggested to use the carrot pulp because, as you know, carrots contain a lot of water, and that extra moisture when you're making the raw cupcake, it will create a gooey cupcake instead of like a cakey one. Whereas when you're creating actual carrot cake that you bake in the oven with flours and eggs and everything, they want the moisture. But here we're trying to take the moisture out so we create a more cake-like consistency. And the great part about that is you get to enjoy carrot juice while you're cooking this recipe. We shared it with some people in the audience and they're like, did you sweeten this? And we're like, no. Carrots are just sweet in general, so that's why they're used in this recipe. So we have 2 to 3 cups of carrot pulp here, and we're going to put it in our Vitamix. So one.
Ooh. It's best to use fresh pulp here as well. This pulp doesn't keep very long.
Oh, it stinks.
Because it's already the decomposition. It's kind of like why doing this, eating it is so easy to digest, because the process of breaking it down has already occurred. Mm-hmm. Whole carrots can last in your fridge for seemingly forever. They keep really well, but as soon as you take the water out and begin that breakdown process, this will smell very fast.
Some carrots do bend though if you keep them in the fridge long enough, but if you keep them in water, I don't know if anyone does that, could keep their carrots in water. If you wash them and cut them and keep them in a jar of water or a bowl of water, they keep a lot longer in the fridge.
Yeah, forever, seemingly enough. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we've got 3 cups of the carrot pulp, and now our favorite, dates. We've got a big bowl of dates right here. These are the staple with raw desserts and plant-based desserts. They're something that you'll see in our recipes a lot. Like all of our sweet recipes contain dates, and that's why when we buy dates, we buy them in bulk. So there's this really nice company, Country Life Natural Foods, that is based in Michigan, and they will sell you 15 pounds of dates for $85, which may sound like a lot, but Joshua's done the math for me.
It's about 50% cheaper than from the big box stores. It's like $5.86 a pound for organic medjool dates, which is unheard of, really. You're paying like $12 a pound in the store, so.
And it lasts us over a month.
Sometimes.
Most of the time.
Unless I get into them.
But then you can snack them, you can use them in plenty of recipes. It's
the best.
You're never regret having 15 pounds of dates in your fridge, I'll tell you that. Okay, so
get them in.
It says 1.5 cups of dates or a half pound. So we don't have our trusty scale here, so we're gonna use
half a cup times 3.
Okay, 1.
And this is how we're going to replace more of the refined sugars found in most desserts, just doing it through natural sugars. And they have a whole host of health benefits that we've touched on many times in this show, and they're also the oldest cultivated fruit, which I always like to bring up. I think that's very special.
Yeah, I had my friend, I shared the chocolate bar recipe that we made with her, and she sent me a scientific article about dates that she found and how they help with digestion and moving things through the colon, food through the colon, which I thought was like, thanks for the extra article. I love sharing health facts about dates. Okay, so next we're gonna add walnuts. So this looks a bit gross, but this is just walnuts soaked in water. So I buy bulk raw walnuts, and what you have to do is, if you want to eat them without some of the negative health the negative side effects that come with eating raw nuts, you have to soak them ahead of time. So I soaked these walnuts, and as you can see, it was good that I soaked them, because look at all of the debris that came off of them. Look at all of the chemicals that probably came out that weren't very good for us. So we're gonna drain it and rinse it.
I think that looks like something off a CSI episode.
Yeah.
Like evidence in a jar.
It looks like what you would do in chemistry class when you had like.
Need to soak them for.
I did not know that.
About 12 hours. Yeah.
Well, no, for walnuts it's 4 to 8.
Oh,
it's not
walnuts
as
4 to
long
8.
for walnuts.
Nuts have phytic acid in and other defense mechanisms that if you eat them raw, it's not that good for you. Over time, obviously in a small sample, if you eat like 5, nothing bad will happen, but over time it will add up, and the soaking process breaks that down a little bit more and gets rid of it, really. So it's always good to soak them ahead of time.
And if you just dry them and then you cook them in the oven low and slow or in a dehydrator, they crisp right back up.
Yeah.
So.
And you'll notice, go on, you can drain them.
Okay.
I notice that when I eat them in that way, I don't get any movement, whereas if I eat them just raw, it just doesn't sit too well with me, give me cramps. Especially if I eat a lot, I can cramp a little bit, but as soon as you rinse them like that.
I find they taste better this way.
They do taste better, yeah. Creamier.
Give them a quick rinse.
Oh, we have here, this is the fact that everybody needed to know today. Catherine, we're ready to release it.
Oh, yeah, I remember now. No, you go. You're remembering now.
How many walnuts do you think a guy called Reddy crushed with his hands in 1 minute? You know, like the whole walnut shells. 212.
Holy crap.
And then
How did he do that?
And then his friend Rashid did 181 with his head.
I need to see a video.
People with a hard head that could probably do it.
We should do it. Walnut off.
I can't even imagine. I was trying to break open some black walnuts this fall, and it was a serious effort.
Yeah,
I can't even imagine.
We
doing
picked
it
a
with
whole
my
bag
hands.
and Kate was like, oh, we're going to use them, and she got like 3 in and was like, man.
My hands were black. I was like, I can't do this anymore. So I dried these off with a paper towel. Like I said, we're trying to reduce too much extra moisture in this. So I don't even know how it's going to blend in
It will blend.
the Vitamix, but we'll see.
And then to add into this, to bring the carrot cake flavours, we're going to have cinnamon, ginger and turmeric. Ginger, turmeric, cinnamon. This is going to help with the flavours of a traditional carrot cake, but these are also superfoods, all of them. They have antibacterial, antimicrobial properties. And anti-inflammatory, which is great. So again, when you're eating this cake, you're going to get those benefits.
Yeah,
So
help with digestion and nutrition. You just need a dash of turmeric. You're not going crazy here. Cinnamon's about a teaspoon. I may end up adding more cinnamon. I love cinnamon. And then ginger here, you can actually use raw ginger if you get rid of the skin, and you can just put the whole thumb size in with this mixture.
Yeah.
But dried works here as well. So.
What are you doing there? 1?
Yeah, I'll just do a teaspoon of that.
All right. And now we blend.
It's gonna definitely need some pushing and some patience.
Pushing. Cakes.
Well, I want to see what it tastes like. If it needs extra seasoning.
Ooh.
I think it's good. Do you want to try?
Nah.
Why?
I trust you. I'll just say it's good. Go on, I'll try.
I think it just maybe needs a little bit more cinnamon and ginger, but.
Nah, it's good.
This is how this always happens.
You like to over season, I think. Yeah, that's well carroty. It's nice that.
Okay.
So we're going to be putting these.
You want extra cinnamon?
I said I probably would do it because I love cinnamon too.
I know. It's okay.
That's good.
Joshua is actually not an over.
Cinnamon's good for diabetics.
It is, and it's good for your heart. Okay, so we're gonna scoop these in,
Get them in.
and then Joshua's gonna give us the brief history of carrot cake.
I am. Carrot cake first appeared in a French cooking book published in London in 1827, and it had pretty mixed reviews. People kind of resonated with it, but it definitely wasn't top tier. And then during World War II was when it really started to become popular because sugar was super rationed and it was a really sought after commodity. So most people couldn't get access to sugar to make things sweet. And then they realized, like some people in the crowd did, carrots are actually very naturally sweet when you take the juice out and leave the pulp, or just drink both. So they started to, because you can grow carrots all year round, and obviously World War II being in Europe, the UK, carrots grow pretty much all year round pretty easily and readily. So people started to make carrot cake, and since then it's just become a staple in many people's lives, and it became really popular due to the rationing, which I thought was pretty cool.
I did too.
I think humans are pretty good at adapting in that way. When there's shortages, they find solutions pretty quick.
Crafty.
Crafty, you're kind of scented there, that's okay. No?
Oh, what do you mean I'm saying?
I'm just like...
Moving you off to the side.
And the history of carrot cake was...
I mean, I would have never guessed that about the history.
That would have been a niche guess. If you'd have guessed that, that would have been impressive. So Kate's put in probably, I mean, you can technically see...
I'm just making sure it's equal the first time, and then...
You can add to it.
I'm gonna... They're pretty small right now.
Yeah.
Like mini cupcakes or...
And we're gonna put these in the fridge to set, and if you were making this at home, you can let it sit longer, up to realistically 8 to 10 hours or even overnight, and it'll just firm the cake up. It will set in the time that we have, I'm pretty sure, but the longer you leave it, the more firm the little cupcake will be.
And we like to talk, we were talking about energy balls before the show as well, and these can just be carrot cake energy balls.
Yeah, you can
don't
just
even
eat that
have to
straight
do
off.
the
Yeah,
frosting.
I love this recipe.
Yeah, cupcake version. It's just
Yeah,
as a ball that you pick out of the fridge every now and then. It's a
Yeah.
great snack.
Yeah. And there's a lot of, did I talk about carotenoids?
No, you didn't.
Carrots have a lot of carotenoids in, beta carotene specifically, and they are anti-inflammatory, antioxidants, and just really good for you in many different ways. They're kind of like relatively new studies, the carotenoids, but there's a lot of emerging research that shows that they're very good for you. They in lots of different foods, but carrots have a very high percentage of them, so you're going to get that benefit too. And obviously it tastes really good, that. Me like it.
Me likey. I'm just gonna try to put a little bit more in each one.
Yeah. Doing a great job there.
I think having a measuring spoon to know how much you have and then adding it would also be useful.
Do you want me to help? Join in?
Oh,
I can make myself.
that's always useful. I do like when you share the history facts though, that makes it.
Well, I'll scoop it and you push it down.
Ah, good idea, that one needs it. Ooh, so now those are really filling up. But there's, as I said, if you check out Fully Raw Christina's page, she's got a lot of great dessert recipes and savory recipes for eating fully raw, so no cooked food whatsoever. And she has like a full cake she makes from something like this, but that one has oat flour or almond flour in it, I can't remember. But that one had to set for a lot longer, and we know how it's gone in the past with us.
Yeah.
With setting, it's never gone really that well.
Ice cream flashback.
Yeah. Exactly.
We've got some trouble with setting, haven't we?
I'm trying to make things more time sensible.
Yeah, that's a lot of this style of cooking though, like the soaking of the nuts, the dehydrating, the setting, the waiting. Obviously all of the energy transfer in regular cooking is done in the oven. Whereas with this, you just got to wait with time. So it does require a little bit more planning.
This in the fridge, look how good those turned out. Can you guys see it in the mirror? See how they pressed down so well?
Yeah,
It did. Great job, honey.
All right, fridge.
Fridge. And we're going to move on to vanilla orange frosting.
We got the
Right.
vanilla out. I think that's one of the things we figured out.
Can I ask you guys about these nuts?
Sure?
It says you're gonna soak the cashews too.
Yep.
Yeah, so
Okay, so you're only doing this for when you cook, when you use them in a recipe? Is that?
I actually have nuts pre-soaked in the fridge all the time
Really?
because I
So if
always
you-
want them ready.
If you were gonna just eat them for a snack though, would
Yeah.
you soak them first?
Yeah.
I do because I always buy my nuts raw because the only other way I like it is dry roasted. When they're roasted with oil, then I get the damaged oils in my mind and there's always extra salt. So with cashews though, after you soak them, they are a bit hard to get them back to crisp, I find. It hasn't worked out that well for me. But the reason that you want to soak cashews is because that's how you get a lot of the creamy cheese recipes and the cheesecake recipes, because they turn to like goo.
Yeah, they get a little bit bigger. They
Yeah.
swell with the water.
They get so smooth, unlike other nuts when you soak them. Like walnuts, you can soak them, and then when you blend them, you can still have that crunch feeling, whereas cashews really soften.
Go smooth out, yeah.
And so after I've had the cashews soaking, the walnuts soaking for overnight usually is what I do. I just pour the water out and I keep it in the fridge and they don't go bad. They
No, they
just
last, yeah.
stay the way that they are. And the same thing with the cashews. I'll maybe add some extra water to that, fresh water to them, like every time I use them and I dump the water out. I sometimes add fresh water.
I'll
It
drain
usually
these.
goes pretty well. And something as well is that it's kind of like ferments, and fermented nuts is good for you as well. So they don't ever smell like sour or off to me when after I soak
You'll
them.
see here the colour changes to
The color changes as well. Yeah. So, I don't have experience with soaking anything else besides cashews and walnuts. Pecans, I've heard you don't have to soak, so I don't soak those. And obviously pistachios, you always get them like dry roasted, so you don't do that. And then peanuts, I don't even eat, but they're usually, I think raw peanuts you usually want to dehydrate at least, but I don't know about the soaking process with those. Did that answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't know about that. I didn't know you were supposed to soak them.
So that's 2 cups of cashews in there.
Yes, and we've always wanted soaked cashews for the previous recipes we've made, but we've
Forgotten.
always been like, whatever, and you can always just low and slow boil them for 30 minutes if you want to have that soft cashew before your recipes.
Question about cashews. Which country was the top cashew producer in 2010?
Can we get a hint?
It's, it's in Africa. Begins with an N.
Nigeria.
Nigeria. How did we not know that?
2010, so who does it now though?
It doesn't matter, does it? Niche fact of the day. 650,000 tonnes. It's quite a lot,
That's
isn't it?
absurd.
That's 2 cups though, so... Dates.
Oh,
What's better
like
than
dates.
dates in the carrot cake?
Then more dates.
Dates in the topping.
Yeah. How many dates? Okay, we're gonna be doing
1 cup of date.
What happened to her?
Oh, it's gone.
Shambles. Shambles.
I mean, it's just going to be all these,
Yeah,
isn't
it's
it,
just gonna be.
realistically?
Dates are kind of hard to measure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's where a scale comes in to help, but we don't have a scale here today. But we
Yeah.
have one at home. We love our scale.
We do love our scale. We're then going to put vanilla in,
Vanilla extract,
which is
we
the
love.
only edible orchid plant.
We found
which
that
I
out
find
yesterday.
fascinating, considering how many orchids there are. Vanilla is the only one that you can eat.
Didn't they say there was like 100 varieties?
130, I believe.
100 of vanilla. It's like, how are there so many? All
And
of them taste different, supposedly?
Yeah. Has antidepressant effects, vanilla, which is amazing. And considering this, you know this cake is going to be healthy, plus that you'll feel good after it. It's all
Yep.
made together. And then to get the orange flavour, we're going to use...
Fresh orange juice that we juiced before the show. And you can obviously use it from the store as long as you know you're getting it not from an ultra processed or refined place. But we think fresh is always better.
Yeah, and this has a lot of vitamin C in, vitamin C, so it's going to help with your immune system.
Should we add all of it at once?
Yeah,
or-
add it all, yeah. You'll be fine. If we need to get more, we'll get more. And we're going to go back to the blender.
Yeah.
So this is a very easy cake method, and why I like raw cakes. I don't do it that often, but there's very little room for error. Because if I'm baking, you know, you've got that whole variable
Does
of
it
cook
rise?
time,
Does it not rise?
Is it going to be burnt? Da 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 da. Whereas this is just whack it in there and
Blend.
press that button and it comes out.
Yeah.
Done.
I like that part of it too.
Beautiful. Put this on here.
So this is going to take a bit to get into frosting consistency.
Maybe I'll get this thing in there. St. Patrick's Day. I think that's good.
I just hers didn't look so chunky. You think we should scrape the sides and try again?
Right, get the pipe bag.
So we're going to be pipetting it onto our cupcakes. There's different renditions of frosting. If you don't like orange frosting, you could do a lemon frosting with lemon
How
juice.
do you get cream cheese frosting plant-based?
Well, that one is literally just the cashews and I think vanilla. And you would probably use maybe either dates or a coconut sugar or cane
Hold-
sugar.
Do you want me to hold? You're usually better at that.
Yeah. And then, like the newer rendition that Fully Raw Christina did was lemon and rose water, which I can't even imagine what that tastes like. But she said it's very floral.
Yeah, I can imagine that.
I haven't had that many rose desserts in my life.
I'm not a big fan.
Of rose.
Food just tastes like flowers.
I just didn't know where I was gonna get rose water, and I was like, orange is just way easier.
Yeah, I think orange is the way.
I think orange would go to carrot.
This is a massive amount of frosting.
Yeah, why do you think it... I don't know. It doesn't... I think it'll be okay. It's thick, yeah. That's where the soaked cashews really makes a difference.
Oh, okay, soaking them.
Yeah, if you had like just the raw cashews in here, it would be
Soaking the dates probably would have been
even thicker probably, yeah.
even better of a solution, really.
But I don't know, I quite like the thick date look. But yeah.
You like the chunky date.
Do you guys go through a lot of blenders because of all the heavy stuff you have to?
We actually don't really.
We've gone through at least
like
two.
dates over and over.
Yeah.
With a blender.
I mean, we bought that one little food processor in that kind of.
That's been going well. After we
that came back
smoked it
to
out.
life.
Yeah.
That's what I use a food processor.
Yeah, but no, we're not really. We're not too bad on that.
Our blender is
Just an old Ninja, like a
And so
pretty cheap
you
one.
can't use it to make recipes like this.
Nah, it wouldn't
because
make
it's not a bottom blender. It's like goes up the
Yeah, like the
blades
spiral.
go all the way to the top.
This is cool.
Should we? Is that enough for now? You think?
Well, you might as well just bang that.
Well,
top.
because if
Oh,
you
yeah,
put
yeah,
too
yeah,
much
yeah.
in, then you can't
All right, hold on.
grab. So we can
I'll
always
get the
add
cakes.
more.
Carrot cake.
Yeah, there's this
Have you any nuts?
niche comedy show.
It's a sketch show from England called
England.
Little Britain. They do a bit about carrot
Has anyone
cakes.
ever heard of that before? Showed it to me today, and I was like, "This is just absurd."
Yeah, it's right. Here we go. I'll cut that
Oh,
off
the
for you.
moment of truth.
You need
See,
to,
how is that not going to come out the sides
because you
though?
need to put
It
it
won't,
down.
it fits in there tight.
There you go, like that.
Usually there's a cap that screws on the outside of that too.
Yeah, there's some that are like that.
All right, well, it's happening.
Cake's
See?
gonna pipette that
Do you have more
on.
faith in me now?
Oh, I never had no. I always had faith. Nice. There you go.
Cool.
Oh, dun,
Professional.
Oh,
Dun, dun.
it looks good.
Go on. Yes. Whoop, whoop. Oh, you got some swaz on that.
Are these the first cupcakes you've ever made, huh?
Ever, yeah.
Ever. That's so cool.
Maybe not ever.
Sounds like it doesn't.
Very easily installed. I've never used one of those bags either.
Joshua is not much of a baker.
Too many
I
variables.
never bought the fancy bags either. I always use a Ziploc.
I would too. Yeah.
I think it's cool though.
Yeah.
I have the throwaways. You have the throwaways,
It's the
every,
disposable ones?
no, not disposable.
She's got all the tools for making, for cake decorating. She can do.
The washable.
Yeah, if it was a reusable option, I would definitely prefer that. I would probably clean this bag.
But she has done it with Ziploc bags when you did.
Yeah,
I don't like
Just be quick
single
with
use
those
things.
oh yeah.
bag away.
That looks great, honey.
We're definitely gonna need
And
more
those
frosting. Yeah,
probably
you were right.
Mine.
No, you'll get that.
I forgot to ask her.
No, we're running out.
We're pretty cheap here.
I meant like I need more in the bag.
I don't know, you know those private pot liners?
Josh gets the one without the frosting.
Or slow cooking liners?
Yeah.
For being naughty.
I think I tried them.
I'm hilarious that way.
Yeah.
But you could put this back in the fridge and let the frosting set. But we're just gonna, I think, serve them as
Yeah, we're
is.
just gonna go at it. Oh, it's really thick, that. Go on. You'll get 3 out of that, sure.
Yeah, we will. Oh,
Ooh, airlock.
me and my mom made body butter using one of these.
Oh yeah, you did, yeah.
And the pooping sound it made, we just couldn't help but cracking up. It's just ridiculous, really. It's not what you want to think about.
Simple,
but
innit?
we're just simple people.
Yeah, you got a technique there.
It must have been all my years of baking.
Lovely job. You can obviously pair this with tea, coffee, any beverage of your.
Ta-da!
So what we'll do is cut one
Nice.
up, cut one in half. Might as well, haven't we? Yeah, if it's
Yes.
set. Why not?
Oh, there's knives over there. But we don't have plates, do we?
Just get a little plate. Yeah.
So
I mean-
they don't have to go back in the,
I mean, they could, yeah. We're just gonna eat them though, unless you want to wait. But for the sake of the, do you want to get a flat plate, honey?
no, that's okay.
Just so
I
that.
think it's better for the camera. Just give me a second.
I mean, that
I need to grab
looks,
these before the show and I totally stayed.
looks good though. It's set really fast.
It looks
It
beautiful.
does look really great, that doesn't it? And for you today, $5 a cake. Good deal.
As Robert brought up, this would be a great Easter dessert to bring to your family gatherings.
I mean, we don't even need to cook
And
that. Do you want to hold that with the camera?
You could
Go around.
garnish it.
Coconut on top.
Yeah, coconut.
Oh, coconut on top. Yeah, a little,
Dinner would have been good.
and a little
Orange
peach.
zest. You could do. You could have done orange.
We might have to do another rendition in a couple of weeks.
Because imagine that bright orange zest on top of it. It would just look beautiful.
Right, I'm gonna do a taste review live,
Okay.
and then we'll end the show. Because I've never had one of these before. What do we think? You can have some.
I'm gonna have some.
It's definitely good.
Would you do it again?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I like the base more than the top, which is I never used to like glazing, but it's nice, Trossin. Very good, very moist. It's good. I'm gonna eat at least 2.
I like it. They work well together.
They do work well together. Well, that's been raw carrot cake, so I hope that this has given you some insight on how to make desserts, sweet treats actually healthy. There's not one ingredient in here that doesn't come with its own health benefits of some description. They're all natural foods, very easy for your body to understand and process. And when you finish that, you're just going to feel really good and it's going to be tasty. So I hope this has inspired you. Go out there. Thank you to Fully Raw Christina for paving the way in the raw carrot cake industry game. It's been doing it for a while. We just joined on the bandwagon, but we'll definitely be making those again.
Definitely.
Catherine, thank you very much for your help.
Yeah, thank you, Joshua, and thank you to our audience. And like I said, this recipe is so customizable. Adjust it to how it suits you and make it work for your life.
Wonderful. This recipe is available on our website, feelbetterliving.com. Much love, everybody. Peace.
Peace.
Cool. Who wants a cake?
You guys want to try it?
Yeah.
It is
Cool.
very moist, I'll tell you that.
A big thank you to all of our show sponsors and supporters who make this show possible. The Healthcare Foundation of LaPorte, Grace Learning Centre, Citizens Concerned for the Homeless, and ALCO, Access LaPorte County. We appreciate all of your support.